Day 139 of 365 days of meditation. And yeah, today's practice, I went to bed early last night and got probably like 9 hours of sleep, 9.5, I think. And actually, might have been more than that. It might have been like 10 hours of sleep. And I thought, good night's sleep. I was feeling a little off yesterday. I'll wake up and I'll be feeling better. Yeah, it wasn't the case so much, unfortunately. 45-minute meditation after I woke up, feeling pretty anxious in the meditation, really focused on the pain and discomfort in my body. Also found myself ruminating quite a bit, and in a way that I haven't done in quite a while, that I used to do all the time when I was struggling massively with anxiety and obsessive compulsive disorder. Which was thinking about past events where I felt like I was wronged, and then replaying those events and sort of rehashing the outcome, which usually ends up in me being very aggressive and or violent to the person who I believe treated me poorly. So that was a very normal thing for me in the past. I spent a lot of hours churning things over in my head angrily, and but I haven't really been doing much at all of that lately, and so it was sort of a, I guess, stark contrast to my usual the usual things that are running in my mind now. And so yeah, it really stood out. Last night I was in that state while I was getting ready for bed, and then this morning in meditation I went back to there. I kind of caught myself a couple times and brought myself back out of it, but it was interesting how I kept going there. In the past, like I said, I'd spend time there all the time when I was struggling with my mental health, and I believe that really contributed to the mental health struggles in part, and sort of a feedback loop. And I remember telling my wife before that it was so bad in the past that I'd get cut off in traffic or something, and I would go down the rabbit hole of rumination all the way to, figuring out where I'm going to bury the bodies type thing, which sounds insane, and it kind of is insane. But, that's where the mind would go, unfortunately, and that's what, unhealthy levels of rumination looks like, for anybody who's not familiar with that. And so in the meditation also focused on the discomfort, like physical pain in the body. And so what I came away with was, in addition to thinking about those two things, noticing the rumination, noticing the sort of obsessing with the physical discomfort in the body, my mind wandered off to some information I heard recently about psychedelics in the book The Anatomy of Anxiety, and also on the Aubrey Marcus podcast. There was both a brief discussion or mention of psychedelic therapies for anxiety and trauma, and so my mind was going there as well, just sort of rehashing some information I'd heard. And when I kind of combined those three things, what popped in my mind was like, what would my intention be if I was to go into some sort of form of psychedelic therapy? What would I want to address? And the questions that popped in my head were like, why can't I go to the past? Why am I still ruminating on things that happened? In the case of meditation today, I'm literally thinking about things that occurred more than 20 years ago and that weren't even significant. So why can't I let go of the past? Why am I still ruminating on these things? And the other one was, why won't certain injuries in the body heal? And it happens to be neck and upper back, all around the kind of chest on the left side of my body. It's just super tight, won't let go. Been doing all the yoga and the Pilates and the exercise and all these stretches and physio and massage therapy and like all these things that I've done, countless hours of it, and just won't release. It won't heal properly. And so, the question is, why won't it heal? And I don't know if it's related. Maybe it is. I've heard lots of people talk about the correlation between, or the relation between negative events of the past or things we're not able to let go of, and how that can be stored in the physical body and the via the nervous system. I guess we're unable to let go of certain tensions in the body. I don't know if it's true or not. I have no idea. I've never really looked into the research or heard anyone talk about it in too much detail. I know there's books like The Body Keeps the Score, which sounds interesting, but I've never read it. So anyway, yeah, those were the two things that came out of it. Why won't my body heal, and these certain injuries, and why can't I let go of the past? Why am I still ruminating about things from 20 years ago? That, when I think about them objectively, it's like, meh, big deal. So yeah, that was it for the meditation itself. Some interesting things to think about. I'll probably maybe write about them a little bit or explore those further. Maybe pose those questions in meditation, because it was near the end of my practice where I came up with them. So maybe I'll try posing them earlier on in the practice tomorrow and see what they yield. But other than that, I have been noticing something, and I don't want to admit it to myself, but it seems to be true. In that book, The Anatomy of Anxiety, and I kind of noticed it beforehand, was that when I drink coffee and then I try to sit in front of my computer, I feel very anxious and I can't sit still. In the Anatomy of Anxiety book, Dr. Vora talks about the idea of false anxiety, and caffeine is one of those things that can create what she calls false anxiety. So yeah, I love coffee, love the smell, love the taste, enjoy just sipping on the coffee in the morning, but unless I'm going to go do some sort of physical activity afterwards, it just doesn't work. I can't drink a coffee and then just sit or stand in front of a computer. I'm already kind of prone to being somewhat kind of hyperactive, and adding coffee and then expecting myself to sit still immediately after for hours on end is just not realistic. Even if I'm standing and shifting side to side, just is not enough. I got to be able to get outside and go for a walk or a hike or exercise, or garden for a few hours, or do something physical. Otherwise, my focus just goes out the window. And yeah, it's unfortunate because I really do like coffee, but I've been noticing it for a while. Then I read and kind of was thinking, yeah, maybe this isn't working for me. And then I read the book and they were talking about it, and then I really sort of paid attention to it lately when I'm drinking coffee or not, what my focus is like. How do I feel anxious or not? Am I able to sit still, or do I want to move and do stuff? And it seems pretty definitive at this point. So I think I'll have to keep the coffee to the weekends, maybe decaf during the week, because the nature of my job is just not physical, and I cannot sit in front of a computer and focus after I give myself a big shot of caffeine. So yeah, anyway, that's it for today. No real great news, unfortunately. In closing, if you're struggling at all with your mental health, talk to somebody, talk to somebody, talk to somebody. Don't suffer in silence. I've been there, done that. It does not work. Not every day is a perfect day for me. I have days where I feel anxious, or I'm feeling a little bit dysregulated or a little bit low, and I'm lucky enough now at this point in my life that I have people I can talk to about it. I have some friends I can talk to about it. I have my wife. I have some family members I can talk to about it, and yeah, it really just makes it so much easier. There's nothing worse than struggling with your mental health and feeling isolated, feeling alone. It is brutal. So if you're in that place, I would highly recommend that you reach out and talk to somebody. It really can be a game changer and a life changer, and potentially a life saver as well. So yeah, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Be good yourself. Have a good day.